As first impression is most important, similarly, first introduction is as important as your first impression is. We most of the time get confused that how do we have to introduce ourselves in different situations. So we sometimes can't even differentiate that how to give job introduction and how to give self introductions. So let me guide you that why I'm using the word job introduction and the self introductions and what is the difference between both of them. In job introduction, someone asks you to introduce yourself. But if you're going to give self introductions, in that no one asks you to introduce yourself. In job introduction, you go and someone is in front of you to ask the questions one by one. But if you are going to give your self introduction, it depends. You might be on different stages. You might be on different platforms where you have to come and introduce yourself. So first we start from the job introduction. In job introductions, what the interviewer wants to know about you, that when he asks you that introduce yourself, he wants to know basically your professional qualifications, skills, and your passion about your job or your profession. So when anyone asks you to introduce, so you should first tell, for example, if anyone asks to me that, would you please introduce yourself? I should be starting not with my name is this and I am from this place or that place. This thing does not need, and they don't want to know about that. These things are already mentioned in your application or CV. That is not necessary to tell. The most important thing which is to tell is you should tell your name, that I'm Shehzad and I have done Masters in Education and Masters in English. I have been teaching English for last almost 15 years now. And as a employee, my responsibilities were, so first you tell about your qualification and the experience in that, and then the responsibilities which you had in that duties or job which you had previously. And you don't even need to mention where you left the previous job if you are going to give an interview. If the person asks you in further communications that why did you leave your previous job, then you can give your reasonable answer which you think is real and true. So in this, first you should be telling about your name, and then you should be telling about your professional qualification and experience. And next you should be telling about if you have completed any projects or any tasks, if you have been working in NGOs or somewhere. Other than that, if you have been working in any schools or colleges or somewhere, you should also be explaining your responsibilities and duties which you had. For example, if you had been examination controller or assembly in charge, or any function organizer, whatever the responsibilities you have. And you should be telling that in this company, what you wish to plan to do, what benefits you can give to the company. Now come to self-introductions. What is job introductions? Both are self-introductions, but self-introductions, I mean that where no one asks you to introduce yourself, you just have to introduce yourself by your own. Now, last but not the least, come to the introductions of others. How do you introduce one person to another, and how you introduce any person on the stage. So introducing others is also one of the important introduction and one of the challenging part, how you how you introduce others. First start with the introductions of friends to one friend to another friend. If one friend is sitting with you and another friend comes, you know both of them, but they don't know each other. How will you introduce both of them to each other? In this way, you will tell, for example, hi Wasim, meet my friend Asim. He is my class fellow, and we help each other, especially in mathematics. And Asim, please meet my cousin Wasim. He is my maternal cousin. So then they both exchange, shake the hands strongly, and they say nice to meet you, and another person says nice to meet you too. Before that, they don't shake the hands and they don't directly introduce each other. This is your responsibility to introduce those new people to each other. Now finally, come to the introductions of any guest if you are hosting a program or you are on the stage. For that, adjectives are very much important to introduce, and your energy, your power of wording is very much important to introduce who is coming to you and who is coming to the stage. Let's say if I say that one of my old teacher is going to be the chief guest of my program today, and I want to introduce him on the stage today. How will I start it? I will say that I will not directly tell the name of the person who I am going to invite. First, I will use some admirations. I will use some praises for him. Some good adjectives I will be using to introduce that person. I will say, for example, the person who has changed my life, the person who has guided me on every steps of my life, the person who led me to the correct path, the person who has enlightened my ways, he is none other than my best teacher. Please get your hands together for Mr. Abdul Rahman. Thank you. So this was all about the introductions. Remember me your best wishes, and do follow and share the video if you like. Have a nice day.